I was saddened to hear the news of the passing of Fred McLeod earlier this week. I think nothing hits home harder than something unexpected when that takes place. I know a lot of great friendships in this room with him, so my heart goes out to all of you guys. I enjoyed my conversations with him, got to know him a little bit during the preseason this year, obviously working with our games and stuff. So those are always really hard, but I do know that his voice and some of the calls that he had in the sports world will live with fans for a long time. So that's a great legacy in regards to that. So just, want to make sure I had mentioned that. Obviously a big day for us here, as a team. Started off the morning. Guys are, dialed in. They're grinding through the meetings right now, getting ready to go. Working on early down stuff here today in practice. Going out in pads today, so that'll be a good day for us to get our fundamentals, worked on here this week, which obviously we need a lot of improvement on that. Pad level, hand placement, footwork, all that sort of stuff. Real important that we keep trying to emphasize that as we work through the month of September to get better. With those opportunities that we can go out in pads. I think, obviously the Chargers present a lot of problems, both on offense and defense. I think Coach Lynn has done an unbelievable job just building the mental toughness of that team. Knowing Coach Lynn and having coached against him a long time, both at the Bills and the Jets. His background with Parcells, his background with Rex Ryan. I think you see a lot of that come through with his team. Some similarities, I would say, from some of the things that we do in that aspect too. And I think, his team is really just, they've done a great job with that aspect of it. They got great players, obviously the quarterback. We can talk about him all day. Had some tremendous battles with him, but utmost respect for him, like we mentioned the other day. But the defensive side of the ball too, I think Gus Bradley's done a really good job with this unit. Kind of in that transformation to the, Seattle type cover 3 defense, but the pass rushers up front, 2 great guys on the edge. The linebackers fly around. They make a lot of plays. They're fast. And I think the whole key for them on defense is not give up big plays and just make you try to drive it downfield and earn it. So, it'll be a tough battle. It should, got a lot of work in front of us to get going here as we move forward. But, we're excited about the week. We're excited about the challenge. So, we're just back to work, which is great.
After the game, just about moving forward and forgetting the last one. That's a big tenet of your beliefs. Is there a key thing you recognize in a player or a team during the week of when they've actually put it behind them, or is that something you don't know until the next Sunday?
You probably don't finally know the answer till next Sunday. I would say that's probably true. And I think that really just depends whether or not you win or lose. I think, you can go either way with it and write it however you want. But it is something that I do try to take observation of, as we kind of learn about this year's team as we go forward. I will say this, I feel very confident right now that the team is in a good mental space as far as preparing for the Chargers. I think Monday was great. I think the guys really did a great job, especially coming off a long trip. It was a long flight, long trip, put a lot into that game, played a lot of snaps in that game. I think guys were tired on Monday, but they really tried to come in and focus and just get all the corrections and move forward. So it was really good from that standpoint. A lot of guys, I know, worked hard yesterday on their off day, just getting ready to go by, some of the meetings that we had this morning. I know they were studying, they were in there, and they were moving forward. So, you try to gauge it the best you can from there and just keep pushing the message and go forward. So that's really what we're doing right now.
Now, what are some staples of that cover 3 defense? Why is it maybe tough on offenses when it's run?
Yeah, they do an outstanding job with it. There's a lot of little intricacies that go along with that coverage. There's some specific different nuances that they can do based on formation, based on personnel. So some of it can really be truly zone. Some of it can be zone with some man influences inside of it that are difficult to find out. But I would say, the best thing they do is they're able to play fast and inside of that defense with the personnel that they're building around it, just kind of fits their style of play. So again, I think the key with all of it obviously is the pass rush, and they've got 2 really good guys on the edge that can generate a lot of pressure on the quarterback. And those guys in the back end know that the ball is going to come out. It's going to come out pretty quick, so they can get into their space and then they can drive and read and break, which helps them defensively a lot. So, but they do a really good job too of stopping the run. I mean, Mebane inside he's a problem. He's a big guy. He's a strong guy. He can anchor the middle of that defense so that when the run plays occur, everything kind of gets forced back inside to him and he makes those plays. So, just working together really well right now. I'd say that's probably the biggest thing is just as a unit, they're working really well together.
Matt Snacks tweeted out, he said the game blamed on him 100%. He got dominated. obviously it's not all him, but you talk to him and, maybe compliment him for coming out and saying that type of stuff, or how does that work?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you love ownership. You love it when guys step up and they take accountability. It's always going to start with me though. It's got to be me first, and that's where it goes. It goes with the coaching. So, but again, just that I think just is a testament to who he is as a person and a player, and he just wants to be great. And we just got to try to do everything I can to help him, and he is great. He goes out every single day and approaches his job like a professional. So. But good thing is we're on to the Chargers. We're moving forward. So we got another great opportunity today to get better, which is the biggest thing for us.
What do you see in that running back rotation now, including the run-pass threat that Eckler presents for him?
Yeah, Eckler, I mean, he was a big part of their offense last year, too, when they would put the two running back sets out there and really kind of put a defense in a bind from that standpoint because he is a passing game threat. I think what really, stands out to everybody that saw the game this past weekend is that he's actually an outstanding runner. He's really strong and powerful. He may not be, overly big in size, but his lower body strength is incredible, when he breaks and drives through some of those tackles. And I think they've done a great job with their run game of getting him into some of those space situations, really dividing the defense and getting him into the secondary pretty quick, which is, very dangerous from that standpoint. So dual threat from that standpoint, run and pass. You're going to see him out of the backfield a lot. You're going to see him free release. You're going to see him lined up and empty and try to take advantage of some of those situations too. So certainly dangerous from that standpoint. Jackson, 22, who's in there, is another really fast, explosive guy from that standpoint too. And I think they just complement each other. Similar run games when they're both in there from that. Just kind of fits the style of offense that they're running right now.
One other timeout question, if you'll indulge me, just so I understand going forward. Am I right in saying that head coaches are typically the only ones that can call timeouts on the sideline, and you guys have exception because of like your injury, where you're not as close to the line of scrimmage, I guess?
No, I don't think really that's any of the case there at all from that standpoint.
You can call timeouts typically than anybody?
No, I mean, the timeouts go through me, so we have a process for that. I don't really think that's a story that I want to get into. I just think.
Who is allowed to call timeouts on the sideline? Like, who can ask the official for a timeout?
The head coach will ask for the official for a timeout, and then in my situation, I can designate someone to do it for me if I need to.
Who did you designate?
I'm not going to get into all that strategic stuff as far as that's concerned.
It's
okay.
Really strategic.
Yeah, just we're kind of moving on to the Chargers here. I think that's a story that I'm good with right now. I'm not really sure where we're going with the whole timeout thing. So
I just want to know the mechanics of it, I guess, as to why. Well, look, I mean, Kevin, no offense to Kevin, but he was obviously calling timeouts in the preseason. So I guess I'm curious why Kevin, if he still is, if he's not a coach, if that's part of the...
all that stuff, what you do is you go through the league to get approval depending on who we want to do it during the game if I can't physically do it. That's all.
Is there a reason why you don't have a coach as opposed to Kevin, or why that was part of the...
Yeah, just so that it's coming from my line. So it's a designated person that, may not be a particular coach from that standpoint. Yep.
Matthew was under a lot of pressure in the last game. Some free rusher situations included in that. How many communication issues did you have to sort through with the film as you're moving forward?
I think there's always communication issues we sort through, after every game where we have, breakdowns in protection or coverage or whatever it is. And part of that is trying to eliminate as much of those as possible as we go forward. And certainly, like I said, we got two really good defensive ends this weekend too, and obviously Bosa and Ingram, and they line up in different positions. So there's a lot of communication that has to take place with those guys. They're on the same side. They're inside. They stun outside. They're outside. They stun inside. I mean, they just do a lot from that standpoint, and communication will be a big part of that as we go forward.
So you have to put I know there's only so much time. We do have to put an extra emphasis on the offensive line and fixing some of those issues, or is it the same piece of the pie?
Yeah, we always put a lot actually into it, just in general, because we're not really sure what we're going to see from those standpoints. And again, as I've mentioned before, I think from the offensive line, the protection standpoint, 5 guys trying to see the plays through the same set of eyes. As many reps as you can get of that as possible only helps you in the long run, because it's usually never exactly how it is during the week. They're working too on that side of the ball, so there's going to be some nuances there that are a little bit different, and you just have to rely on your base rules and reads to be able to react to some of that stuff and communicate it out to make sure that everybody is on the same page.
Considering last week you kind of ran at least somewhat of a rotation there on the offensive line, is that because they move around as much and they go inside and outside, does that change whether or not you run a rotation this week, or are you kind of past that at this point? You feel like you have a 5 set?
I mean, I think it just depends week to week, and right now we just feel like that was a good thing for us to do last week as we get into the first game and kind of being out in Arizona and everything like that, and we'll see how it goes this weekend.
Desmond King's in Detroit guy, obviously pretty important to their defense. Just what do you see from him in terms of what he does on that defense, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, defense and special teams. He's a phenomenal player. This guy's fast, quick, explosive. I would say the zone scheme that they utilize with him is really kind of fits his skill set very well. He does a great job of reading the quarterback. He does a great job of pattern match and jumping those routes and understanding where he's stressed and getting back to the ball. He's had some turnovers. I mean, he's pretty dynamic player. Inside, he's tough. He's going to be physical on those inside receivers, and he's going to get after it in the run game too, and put his the return game and the special teams on top of that. He's just a dynamic player. He's just a really good young player, and someone that has, I think, really helped their team, their defense, and their special teams, be in good positions through the course of of the games. So he's certainly a guy that's been very productive for him.
Difficult to defend Keenan Allen.
Yeah, very difficult. I mean, this guy is, he's an unbelievable athlete, unbelievable wide receiver. The thing about him, I think that's unique. He's got great route running ability, his ability to cut, to release off the line of scrimmage, to really kind of move the defenders at the line, get open, get into space. His top of the route quickness, he's got some subtleties in there, his head turns, his shoulder leans, and some of the way that he skips off the line of scrimmage. He has some unorthodox releases too that are just extremely difficult to defend against. So, you have to deal with all that. And then on top of that, if you have good coverage, the quarterback has a lot of trust in him. He's going to put the ball up and really, in most cases, put it in a situation where maybe it's away from the defender's body or it's an off leverage. And obviously the quarterback's accurate enough to put there, and his hands are strong enough to make those plays. I mean, he made a phenomenal one, the other day. And really, that's one of those situations where the wide receiver kind of just throws his hand up. Quarterback sees it, puts it up, and just trusts the wide receiver to make a play, which he did, even though the coverage was tight. So that's, I think, what makes those guys so difficult when you have a really good quarterback that trusts him to make those plays, and then his ability to get off the line of scrimmage at the top of the route, get open, and then come down with the catch is what makes it so tough.
Facing off with these guys in practice, in all off season, definitely got me prepared for what I see on Sundays. So.
Thank you so much.
You're going to play your first regular season home game at Ford Field. What are you expecting that atmosphere and the fan base to be like?
I'm expecting it to be rocking. I know that we had, a scrimmage in the off season there, and it was live during that. And then, the preseason games, it got loud, during those games. They love their Lions at Detroit, so we're expecting them to come out and show love, and our job is to go out there and perform.
How much does it help to know you're coming home, you're playing in front of a home crowd, to be able to get that bad taste of the Arizona game out of your mouth?
Right. It's always good to come home, play in front of your own crowd. On third down when we're on defense, to get the place loud, to get their offense flustered, and the whole nine, just to have that home atmosphere going. So. Especially me being a rookie, this being my first time, my first home game officially, season opener. I mean, I'm looking forward to it.
I say, new week, new me. I'm back. I'm ready to go. Let's get it.
How do you move on? Do you have any mental tricks or anything? And when does it usually happen? Is it on a flight home or Monday or Tuesday?
If you have a bad day, what you do the next day?
Just go back to work, pray.
Same thing we do. We normal people just like y'all.
So when does it happen for you? When are you over it?
Just like you get over a win or you get over a loss, 24-hour rule.
But we don't necessarily have the 16-game measuring stick, where one of them can really cost us a chance at advancing playoffs, whatever it may be. So
24-hour rule. Win, lose, or draw. You move on to the next week.
How much do you know about the running back? Had a fairly decent year last year, but really kind of taken over there for them.
I know a lot about him. You guys got to understand, I grew up watching the Chargers my whole life, so I still watch him a lot. So for me, he's a guy that's worked his tail off, made a name for himself, and he came from the bottom, and I'm sure he has an underdog mentality each and every week that he shows on film. And you can tell by the way he runs the ball. He's a good player. He can make some things happen, running the ball and catching the ball. So he's definitely a good threat, and he's worked his way up, from the bottom to the top. And You know, they also got the Jackson guy that's pretty good too. So, you know, we got to be ready to go.
There was a lot of unknown heading into last week just because you guys hadn't played a lot together on defense. Now that you got a game under your belt, you've watched the film. What did you like about the performance or the group or your impressions of week one?
I just love everybody's effort, man. Going out there competing week one, you know you're gonna get tired. You know you haven't played a full game in 8 months, so I just like the effort that we had. I like that, you know, the energy that we brought, the enthusiasm that everybody had on the sideline, everybody trying to talk, you know, trying to figure out things on the run, and you know that's fun. That's what's fun about the game of football, just being there with your teammates through the tough times, and you know, even though when things start getting tough, you know, we all bonded together and we had
the other guys on the field that were with me. They made my job easier, so all credit goes to them.
What about the sack you got too?
That's a big thing for the team. You know, I don't know if you saw it. If you saw it, Christian set it up for me. So if Christian didn't hit the center nicely and attract the running back, then you know there was no play. You know, so yeah, everything goes to the other guys.
What was that feeling like in your first NFL sack?
You know, it was joyful. You know, I was happy and excited, and when I got up, I just wanted to go freaking like hug one of the guys. You know, I saw Cheese there. I was like, "Yep, first guy I'm gonna go hug right now."
Who's that?
Christian Jones,
yeah.
And then you know, it was a great experience. So.
Picking on an old timer Sunday.
You know, it's gonna be a good week. You know, the game plan that coaches have this week. As long as we just buy into it, then we'll be fine. But it's such a great experience to get to play against a 16-year vet. So, you know, I'm looking forward for the challenge. You know, wherever the coaches play me, if they don't, you know, then I'll be ready for anything. You know, so like I'm just gonna step up to the challenge whenever they put that on my table.
I'm always curious about the speed of the game. Obviously, you're building up through training camp and the joint practices and the preseason games, but it does seem like it ratchets up a little bit with the regular season. Just your overall impressions of the pace and the speed of that first game for you?
I mean, they had a fast tempo offense. You know, you saw it late in the game, especially when they started getting things rolling. But you know, luckily we had a great week of practice where we had that kind of tempo, and you know, as long as you practice hard like that, then you know games usually come. I don't want to say easier, but like you get adjusted quicker. You know, but. Yeah, good. It was all game plan. So luckily we had that kind of practice out there last week, and this week we're trying to do that too. You know, we're trying to amp it up so we don't get tired in the fourth quarter. You know, we gotta make sure we just finish every game that we play from here on out.
A really interesting backfield combination in Los Angeles. Just Austin Eckler. Just your impressions as a dual threat. It's a big challenge for the middle linebacker spot to help contain that.
You know, I mean, like I said before, you know, it's a big challenge that we're all here to accept. You know, he runs the ball hard. You know, and we just gotta make sure that we secure every tackle that we have against him, and then any skill player that they have. But we just gotta stick to the game plan and just have fun out there.
John, this might seem like a real simple question, but what's it like running out on that field as a starter? Your first game in the NFL,
I don't know. You get a little emotional because you know you look at everything that you've sacrificed to get to where you were, but you know nothing beats just running out there with the guys you worked your butt off with. You know, all 53 of us running out there. You know, it's a great experience. You know, it's just training camp. It's all hell, and you know, and you're just sweating and dying out there. But you know, game time it's where we just get to have fun and let loose, and getting to run out there with the guys is awesome.
So in that moment, are you thinking about your family? Are you thinking about me? What's going through your head?
You know, I'm more of like in the moment kind of guy. You know, so all I can think about is just the excitement, just getting ready to just hit somebody. You know, getting out there, just having fun, just playing the game that I've played for who knows how long. You know, and you know that's what I do it for. You know, the love of the game.
Patricia, go ahead.
Arizona's pretty close to where you're from. How many family members did you end up having?
I had about 15 come out. It was great, you know. I mean, I got other siblings around wherever they are, you know, Hawaii, San Diego State, you know. So it was a great experience to have them come to the first game ever, you know. And you know, it was awesome.
You also had brothers who played big time football too. I mean, could you share some of that feeling with them too? These guys who played.
Yeah, my older brother played with the Titans for a bit, but he always gives me bits and details of how I can correct my stuff and just how to play better. Just perfect my craft. And I love when he gives me that text after the game, regardless if I did well or if I played sloppy. He'll always tell me the truth if I was dogging it in a few plays, and he'll always get on my back about it. So I love that kind of feedback, and I just it's an awesome thing because he's been through it. So yeah.
When you guys have a disappointing result like last week, it was a tie, but probably had to feel like a loss when you giving up that lead. How quickly do you have to turn the clock?
I'm not even thinking about it right now. I'm thinking about the Chargers right now because it's a big challenge. And everybody on this team, everybody in this locker room is ready to accept that challenge.
How quickly did you let yourself?
I mean, you look over you look over the film, you correct the film because every team looks at every game and might pick something out of it. So you got to look at the film, of course, and after that you got to put it in the back of your head. You can't just dwell on the past because that's just going to eat you up.
Just from the tempo and the speed and all that of the pro game, how tiring is it? How did you feel after the game? How much did you really expend?
I felt great. I mean, yeah. Like I said, if practices weren't hard, then we were going to struggle out there. And luckily, coaches set our practice the way it is, and yeah, you feel great. Thank you.
As a rookie, how much do you look forward to your first regular season home game at Ford Field in front of Lions?
Oh, I'm excited. I'm super excited. I hear great things about our fan base, and even at Taste of the Lions, it was a great experience getting to meet the fans and see how energized they are. So I'm looking forward to seeing that and just in person.
What do you expect that atmosphere to be like?
I don't know. I expect to be noisy and I'm going to feed off of it, and I'm sure the guys are going to be doing the same thing. So it's going to be awesome.
We didn't, so I'm over it. Keep it moving.
What's it like getting over a tie?
Yeah, it's an odd feeling, to be honest with you. Haven't experienced it as a professional, or I don't even know if the last time I tied anything, but that one's behind us, and we're looking forward to the Chargers. And like I said, I mean, honestly, you watch them, they get your attention. They're a really good football team.
When your left tackle's having not his best day, does that change anything for you? Maybe is that your blind side that's there, you can't really see?
No. I think every time you step back in the pocket as a quarterback, you trust those guys. If you don't play that way, you can't really operate. You got to go out there and trust them. They're fighting tooth and nail to try and keep you upright. I'm doing everything I can to help those guys out and move to the right spots. But, week in and week out, play in and play out, trust those guys, step back there, and throw it around.
You kind of alluded to it there about getting those guys in response. You did have some free rusher situations in Arizona. Just wondering how much culpability you take in that and some of those guys coming free, or is that just an overall team communication thing you guys are still kind of working on?
Yeah, just need to do a better job communicating and make sure that we got, hats on hats.
Did anything about Hockenson surprise you? I mean, in the production or anything? Because we've seen him since the first workout of the offseason. Spectacular.
Not really. I think he's done a great job. Really, all those guys in that room have done a great job. He's got some good vets to learn from and lean on, and he just made the plays that were available and did a great job getting open. Caught the ball well. Obviously, ran after the catch well. Made a good play in the back of the end zone too, going up and getting it. So. He's been doing a nice job. Just looking for everybody to pick their game up, including myself, a little bit more and get us a win.
When a guy does that, are over that loss, how do you view the offense? I mean, it seemed like you guys did some really good things on offense through the first three quarters at least. So I don't know, how do you come away feeling about what you were able to accomplish?
There's always things to be better. I think we can be a little bit more explosive in the run game. We were close a couple times. No, we just, we were close a couple times, one block away or one, break tackle away, whatever it was. We were close there in the run game. I thought we were explosive in the pass game, which was good. We can be more efficient, I think, in the pass game. Myself, obviously, complete a couple more footballs, but I was, feeling good about it. It would have felt a whole lot better with a win, but just keep it moving.
One area you were really efficient was with that two tight end offense. what is it about having two tight ends on the field? I'm sure you've addressed this before, but the looks it gives you, the matchups it creates, that sort of allows you guys to have some success?
I think we have, 3 really talented tight ends on our roster right now, and all of them can do both run and, or both run block and run routes and catch and all that kind of stuff. So when you have guys that can do both of those, puts defense in a tough spot.
Can you walk us through the touchdown pass to Hawkinson and what you saw as you rolled out and finding him?
Yeah, it was 3rd and forever, and they played Tampa 2. We just kind of ran a 4 vertical scheme, and they let me out of the pocket a little bit, so I just tried to buy some time. Figured, they weren't going to let me have anything in rhythm for, 3rd down and long at that point, so I was going to have to probably buy some time and make a play, and they just kind of lost Hawk in the back of the end zone. The frontside safety, I think it was Swearinger, got super wide, and I was able to kind of coax Hawk into coming back a little bit inside and just threw it over the Mike's head. So, but he made a great play.
We unfortunately didn't get to see the situation in the game with the Hail Mary setup you guys looked like you were trying to get. I'm just curious, when was the last time you threw a football as far as you possibly could?
It's been a while. Try not to.
Right.
But I was probably standing on my own 10. I don't know if I can get it 90. So.
I guess that's my fault. I mean, how far do you think you could throw a football? But,
I have no idea. Far enough.
They only allowed 2 pass plays, I think, 20-plus yards. They play a lot of that kind of cover 3. Take away the big plays. You guys had 7 of those plays last week, I think, number 2 in the NFL. Is that going to be an interesting matchup there between you guys? Yeah,
they do a great job. This defensive scheme traditionally has done a great job of, holding offenses to long drives and not big plays, not a bunch of explosives. They do a great job of marrying their rush and their coverage. They've got a great rush. Those guys up front really get after the quarterback, stress the pocket, and then the guys in the back end do a great job of keeping everything in front of them. So it's tough. Your work cut out for you trying to get explosive plays. You got to make sure that you're efficient and moving the chains.
You've been doing this a long time, but what do you like about coming home to Ford Field?
It's great. It's a great atmosphere. It's a whole lot of fun to go out there and play. Use the crowd noise to our advantage, and hopefully excite them with some big touchdowns.
I feel like now you've played in the offense for a week. I feel like it's maybe feels a little bit more what you're used to, what you're good at, because of the fact that you guys took the deep ball a lot more than you did in the past.
I think every week is going to be different. We're going to try to do whatever we can do to help our team win. Last week we thought we had some good opportunities to take some shots. We did, and we hit them, which is great. But that's not necessarily means that every week we're going to go out there and launch it as far as we can. And we're going to try to do with the defense, take what they give us, and if they're going to make us drive a long field, we'll drive a long field. If they're going to give us some big plays, we'll try and hit them.
Yeah, but that's something you're really comfortable. I mean, throughout your career, you've been really comfortable in those scenarios to go deep, right? I mean, it seems like it.
Yeah, I like throwing the ball down the field.
You've made a lot of consecutive starts in your career, and I think you know how physically taxing that is. Phillips made like 80 more starts than you physically. I mean, what's your appreciation for, I guess, his streak?
Oh yeah, he's. I got a lot of respect for him as a player. He's a great quarterback. Does a great job. I think underappreciated in a lot of aspects. And obviously, like you said, I mean, the guy shows up for his team every week. Played an AFC Championship game in the torn ACL, which is incredible. I'm sure has played through a million other things that nobody knows about too. So, got to give him a lot of credit. Guys there week in and week out, and he's playing at a high level. It's impressive.
Just one thing, do you have to get used to a different rhythm of play calling with Devil, with a new coordinator during the game? Is there a different way guys call plays or get them in?
Yeah, I think that's all part of communication during the week, kind of feeling what's coming and when, and kind of understanding each other, and that'll come with more experience.
Another trust question for you: just do you tell coaches? Do you sort of reiterate, hey, I got situations like this, like during this week at all? I mean, Matt said that's something that he would go back and talk to you about. Excuse me, the timeout. What do you tell coaches? What do you tell players about? Hey, I know where the clock is.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just every situation is probably different. Every game situation is different. We could put in a million situations in practice. They're all different. I'm not too worried about that, to be honest with you. We've moved past it probably better than you guys have.
Well, given that your historic record in the fourth quarter, don't you think there'd be some trust if you do just get the ball hyped on time?
No, I mean, I think, we had a delay game earlier in the game. So I understand it from the sidelines point of view. So we're all trying to win, man. We're all trying to do everything we can to win. I've got a ton of trust in our process and everything that goes into trying to win. So I'm really not too worried about it.
Beyond just health, is there something that goes into being able to have a streak like you have, like Philip has, just being able to do that every week?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot that goes into it. Some of it is, luckily being able to play through some of the stuff that you have. Sometimes you have stuff that you just, at the quarterback position, can't play through. Other times you can. So it's not like he's had however many starts and he feels awesome every time he goes out there. But he's been able to battle through that stuff and play. So.
Last one, guys. How have you found the best way to move on from a win, loss, or tie mentally, or with your mechanics of the process? Like, how do you get over it?
I just start watching tape on the other team. Can't dwell on it, whether it was a great win and a great performance or a blowout loss and a terrible performance. You just got to move on. Do this a long time, you understand that. If you don't understand that, you probably don't do this for a long time. It's part of what is ingrained in us. We move forward. You have to, and you watch the tape, and the other team grabs your attention, and you just get lost in trying to prepare for that team. So it's something that the more you play in this league at this level,
you're not going to be able to go head-to-head with him.
Yeah, he's always been a good back. He's always been a back that I've watched coming up the past few years. He's been a staple of that offense. So it's a little disappointing, but shit, with the guy they got there now, the way he's playing and the way he has played even last year, he's still a tough candidate. So, we're just going out there trying to do my best, and he's going to do his best, see what I know.
We think the pass rush last team on the outside, but two pros that run it dirty, Scott, that defensive line is a run unit.
You turn on the film, you see what the quick and dirty is. If you let them get going, those two guys can get there in a hurry. So, we've got to come out with a plan for that, and the plan for that is also running the ball. It slows them down, if anything, a half a second to help our linemen, and that's what we're trying to do, is just to make it as easy as, look, you line up and pass by those guys 10 times in a row, they're going to get there. They're good. They get paid too, so we got to help as much as we can.
Kerryon, how was Kerryon going this week? Just, you mentioned the tie last week. Sit well.
Yeah, it's always nice to stack early when it's later and later in the season. Those things are hard to come out. Everybody's starting to get good. Nobody's making mistakes anymore. Teams are used to each other, and just the physicality that the season sets in. So you want to stack those many early wins that you can. So this is important to us, just like every game is. We want to get rolling and get our streak going, and then come back from that bye week, hopefully, and keep it